Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the first day of the Christmas Hummer build. We're going to get it all stripped down. I'm looking at it right now, there's a lot to strip off it. But we're going to get all bits stripped off. I need to powder coat and paint. They're going to go on this board. We're going to sort through them, sandblast what we need to sandblast, clean up the upper parts, degrease everything, and we're going to start painting. I hope you get an instruction manual with this. A lot of poles there. We've got it up. It's a lot bigger than I expected it to be. But that's good for me because I need the space. Good morning guys, welcome back to build. It's been a few days since we got the marquee up behind me there, but I've not been able to work on it unfortunately. I woke up Sunday morning with a large lump on the side of my face, so I went to the dentist. I had an infection in one of my teeth, so long story short I just had it ripped out. It wasn't worth fixing, so but I did film a little bit once I come out of the dentist, so I'll put that up here. So I've just been to the dentist. You can see I've got a large swelling. I've got an infection. So I've just had one of my tooth taken out. It was infected, it was bad, so I can barely speak. Massive lump all that. Got size of it. But yeah, few painkillers later. I'm in a bit of discomfort and pain, but we're just going to work through it. We've got to get this broke down and took apart, so let's just crack on, let's get it done. So we're going to start with roof bars. Look how bad it is up here. It's not been washed for a while, eh? Yeah, so we're going to get these roof bars stripped off. Get the old horns, the aerials stripped off. The lights at the front and at the back. And work us way down. That's one off. So we're in the process of removing the rear door now. I've stripped all the wiring harness out of it. There's nothing left, only door cables. So we just need to get to these bolts here to take the hinges off, and then the entire thing will lift away. I was struggling to get into those bolts from that angle, so I've took all the trim down on the inside. And I'm going to get to them from underneath there. All that right there is the reason we've just removed that rear door. You can't paint that with a door on. So that's why we've stripped it all off. So what you're looking at there is the skid plate underneath. Now I want to take this off and paint this and make the H2 stand out. So I've got 3 bolts at the front there, and I've got a couple just a bit further back. So to get the door handle off, you've got to take the glass out. The bolts are there and there, but you can't get to them with the glass. That's got to come out. So I've loosened off the 2 nuts holding the glass. I've took the seal out. So a bit of wiggle. That's one. There we go, that's the handle off. So we want to get that wing mirror off. We want to paint it. So let me see if I can show you in there. There's 4 bolts holding it in place, which are just there. We need to take them bolts out to get it off and then disconnect the wiring harness. Working on the rear door now. On this particular one, you don't need to take the glass out to get to the bolts, so the piece of glass can stay in. So this is progress where we've got to today. All stripped down. All trims are off. All the plastic trims from the roof, door handles, sills, windows are out. All rubber seals, all the lights, wing mirrors, the grille what belonged there, the corner posts, I think they were air fence, bonnet's gone, front bumpers. We removed the skid plate as well from underneath. That's where all mucks come from. Show you the top. Now I've took the plastic trims off, you can see all the crap what's built up under them. That's going to need a good clean. I've still got to get the headliner down on the inside and remove those aerials. Oh, screwdriver there, look. But yeah, it's fully stripped, ready to go. So the next step, we're going to get this up on axle stands, get all the wheels off, and then we're going to be taking out the upper and lower control arms, steering rods, sway bars, all that kind of stuff. That suspension strut's coming out. We've got new suspension going in. We've already done the hubs and the discs. I might powder coat them, not the disc obviously, but the hub. So I think we're going to do that in the morning, strip all these components out, give it a wash, and then it's ready to start prepping for painting. Or panels in back seat, I don't need them on, because I am going to be painting all the way around, all inside there. Everything you see what's white is getting painted. We're not leaving any bits. Good morning guys, welcome back. Day 2 of the build. Yesterday we managed to get all the Hummer stripped down. That's pretty much done. We just need to get it up on the axle stands, wheels off, calipers off, upper and low control arms off, springs out, that kind of thing. Get them into powder coat. We've got all the so we're going to finish getting all those bits off the car. Then we're going to jump into here, we're going to get the sandblaster out, and we're going to crack on. Let's get to it, I'm cold. Got the caliper off. let it drain out. I'm just going to sit that to one side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove this bracket, then we're going to take the upper control, lower control arm out, we're going to take the suspension strut out, all them bits are getting powder coated. Somebody commented on my last video putting these new hubs on that I should buy a breaker bar instead of using my normal ratchet with a long pole. So thanks for the tip, I bought one. That got it. Finish it off. Wrong way. I'll leave the brake pads on there for now, but this bracket is getting powder coated, so they will be coming off. That can come back off. So we've got the jack under the low control arm now, just so I can take this suspension strut out just there, get that out and then get the control arms off. So what I'm doing here is just going into suspension strut from the top. I don't know if you can see it just down there. Just makes it a little bit easier to get to. Trying to get at it from there with a little spanner would be awkward, so she's out. What I didn't realise, when I put the socket on the top and tried undoing the nut, all that swiffles with it. So you've got to lock it in there with a spanner and then get a socket on the top. Change of plan, guys. I cannot get them control arms off. Let me show you. So we disconnected ABS line just to keep that out of the way. I unbolted the ball joint there. I unbolted the control arm there. But I couldn't get any movement on it whatsoever. I couldn't get that joint to separate. I jacked it up, lowered it down, jacked it up. I beat it with a block of wood. I cannot get that joint apart. Without that joint apart, I can't get it apart up there. So I think instead of taking them off and powder coating them, I'll tidy them up with grinder and I'll paint them in place. I need a set of ratchet spanners. That's what I need. We're on to rear section now. Hey up, water dripping on me there. I've just took the wheel off. We're going to remove the caliper under bracket. We're going to remove the suspension strut under spring just there. I think that'll do it for this back end. We're going to swap out the brake disc and the pads. While we're at it, we might as well. And again, we'll clean everything up, give it a good lick of paint. Come on, come off. got my socket stuck on the end of the nut there. Let's see if we can get this out. Oh no, that's just twisting me bit. Why would you use a different type bolt for the back caliper to the front? Will it focus on it? Look what it's done to the end of my bit, it's just twisted it. There's some tight bolts. A little bit of pressure just to loosen it off. There we go. Ah, bugger. I've done it again. I did that earlier and spilled it on myself. I gotcha, you bastard. You are fucking off. That took some getting off, that. That did take some getting off. I've still got quite a lot. I've still got quite a lot left on my pads. They're all right. We don't need to change them. I probably will though. Is there a nut on the back of that? Oh yeah. So on the back of that bolt there, it's a nut which is just spinning. Now that nut is all the way back there. You can see the length of the extension pole I've got on it. How am I meant to hold that there and get into undo that and at the same time? You need two people for this. Come on GM, thought you were better than that. Right, we've disconnected these two bars. One there and one just there, what went up to that point. So now we're going to drop that rear axle down and then we can get those springs out. Now I can't lower it down anymore because of those two pipes there. They're a bit stretched. They come just off of there and run up. But I've almost got that spring out, so we'll carry on. It's almost out. That's it. She's out. So we've got caliper, suspension rods, I'm right. Anyway, whatever they're called, springs, and that. Is it an anti-roll bar or a sway bar? I'm not sure what you call it. But this is where we're at. That's all stripped out. I've just got that differential cover to take off there. I will drain it down. I'll refill that with new oil, couple of old discs. But that's all stripped out, springs out. Up front end out. I would have really liked to be able to get those control arms out, but I spent an hour and a half trying to pull it apart and I just could not get it apart.